I couldn't be present for any of them. And the behavior spun out to a point where it was like I was hurting everybody.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most shameful, disgraced actors of Hollywood who were major disappointments to fans.
I'm just not okay with accepting responsibility for something that I did not do.
Gal Gadot, the woman who once took the world by storm with her extraordinary beauty, fell from grace due to her politics. There was a time when her name drew massive crowds to movie theaters, like for the film Wonder Woman.
In the name of all that is good in this world, I hereby complete the mission of the Amazons by ridding this world of you.
Despite her popularity, though, she was never really recognized as an exceptional actress by critics. She was, however, praised for devoting her time to humanitarian causes like female empowerment. When this advocacy extended to her showing support for the Israel Defense Forces, where she briefly served, many fans turned their backs on her. Still, that didn't stop her from being outspoken about standing with Israel in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and that was her undoing.
The long-awaited honor tarnished to a degree.
Chris Noth. Everyone knew Big was a walking red flag, but we didn't think that the actor playing him on Sex and the City would turn out to be even worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris Noth had everything going for him until 2021, when several women came forward with allegations of sexual assault against him. With this image in ruins, he lost business deals left and right and was removed from the shows he was working on. In no time, he disappeared from the limelight despite maintaining his innocence.
No always means no. That is a line I did not cross.
In his words, the only thing he was guilty of was stepping out on his wife. However, people were having none of it. Naturally, in May 2025, news about his casting in Craig Singer's The Block was met with a lukewarm response. Blake Lively. The movie adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel It Ends With Us was highly anticipated. However, when the film came out, lead actress Blake Lively appeared to downplay its message against domestic violence, promoting her hair care brand, Blake Brown, instead.
I don't want to.
Read it.
Things got worse when journalist Jussie Smollett released an old clip of herself interviewing Lively, who seemed dismissive toward her.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Netizens started digging up more video evidence of the actress being a so-called mean girl, which maligned her reputation. Soon after, it was revealed that Blake had sued her IEWU co-star, Justin Baldoni, for sexual harassment, while the New York Times accused him of orchestrating a smear campaign against her. Baldoni denied the claims, but both actors took a hit to their popularity.
Blake Lively suffered hugely in the summer, and now Justin Baldoni's reputation is taking a real hit.
Jonathan Majors. It didn't take this actor long to achieve critical and commercial success after making himself known through the show When We Rise in 2017. He had an Emmy nomination for Lovecraft Country and was a part of the MCU playing Kang the Conqueror by 2021. However, his career came to a halt when he was arrested for committing intimate partner violence against his ex, Grace Jabari.
I loved Grace. Our relationship was not healthy, and that began to reveal itself.
He was later convicted of attacking and harassing her, but managed to date Megan Good in the meantime, whom he later married. Not only did Jonathan's career go downhill, but Good had to face the consequences of his actions too, as she lost several brand deals just because of her association with him. No wonder her fans are upset.
This individual, this entertainer, this athlete has done this. Now we're going to cancel him, throw the book at him.
James Franco. Once a Hollywood golden boy, this Oscar-nominated actor was dragged down from his pedestal after being hit with multiple allegations of sexual misconduct.
I was sent a couple of the tweets, so yeah, I did read them. I haven't responded. I think, well, the ones I read were not accurate.
He admitted to having sexual relations with his acting mentees, who claimed they were exploited with the promise of roles. He was also inappropriately involved with a teenager. What was even more hypocritical was that amid his scandals, he showed up to the 2018 Golden Globes wearing a Time's Up pin.
I can't, the way I live my life, I can't live if there's restitution to be made.
After an extended hiatus, the actor's back in showbiz with multiple projects in the pipeline. However, he's no longer the media darling he once was.
I had girlfriends. I could never be faithful to anybody, so I cheated on everyone.
Shia LaBeouf. Known for his prodigious talent, this former Disney star disappointed countless fans when he repeatedly landed himself in hot water. From substance use to unruly behavior in public and even going to court for petty larceny, Shia went through several major rough patches.
And a person tells me there's another party outside, and I'm thinking, oh, well, okay. And I see 6 cops having their own party.
However, the tipping point came when his former girlfriend, performer FKA Twigs, revealed she had faced abuse and non-consensual sexual misconduct from him.
It's not one thing, it's loads of tiny little things that get sewn together into a nightmare.
She brought a lawsuit against the actor, alleging that he had acted similarly with another ex, Carolyn Foe. By this point, his reputation was far beyond repair.
But either way, you're going to be humbled in this life. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Russell Brand. This entertainment industry veteran had more ups and downs in his career than a roller coaster ride.
I look elsewhere for alternatives that might be of service to humanity.
From his time as a progressive comedian to acting and now spreading conspiracy theories and anti-woke rhetoric on YouTube, Russell Brand has been all over the place. However, the fact that he has lasted this long in the spotlight is a shocker. Since 2006, Brand has been accused of sexual assault by multiple women. It was only in 2025 that he was sued at London's High Court of Justice for his misconduct and simultaneously in New York for sexual assault on the set of Arthur. He has denied these allegations and has many supporters, but has undeniably fallen out of favor with the general public.
He has been granted bail, but as a condition of that, he has had to give the court today his address, not just here in the UK, but also his address in America.
Stephen Collins. As Eric Camden in Seventh Heaven, this actor was one of the most beloved TV dads of all time.
Right now, I think we should stay focused on the problem at hand.
So when it was revealed that he was not only a sexual offender, but had been indecent toward minors, it marked a point of no return. He admitted to his wrongdoings and called himself a, quote, flawed person as if to excuse his behavior.
I admit to, apologize for, and take responsibility for what I did.
Now he's said to be living with a woman 40 years his junior, as revealed on Investigation Discovery's Hollywood Demons. Needless to say, his acting career is behind him.
I would say, with all my heart, I am sorry.
Lena Dunham. The Girls creator has been canceled more times than we can count.
I would say our difference was that I was amazing at my job and he couldn't handle it.
In her book, Not That Kind of Girl, she wrongfully implicated an innocent man in a sexual assault she said she faced. In the same book, she recalled acting inappropriately toward her sibling, likening herself to a sexual predator. There were also racism allegations against her, amplified by her false remarks about Odell Beckham Jr.'s disinterest in her at the 2016 Met Gala. She once said she wished she could have experienced a pregnancy termination just to relate to women who have. The worst case was her supporting Murray Miller, who was accused of sexual assault by Aurora Perrineau. Lena always ends up apologizing, but hasn't really managed to earn forgiveness.
That's great. Do you feel like they're accepting of you? Do they like your vibe?
No.
Okay.
But I like their vibe, and that's what matters.
All that matters.
Jussie Smollett. The success this actor achieved through his role as Jamal Lyon in Empire was overshadowed by a messy scandal. In 2019, Jussie Smollett filed a police report claiming he had been subject to a race and sexuality-based hate crime.
Dozen detectives are pursuing new leads, including grainy photos of two persons of interest.
However, upon further investigation, it turned out that he had allegedly staged the attack because he wasn't happy with his pay on Empire. Chicago police also alleged that a racist letter he received was actually self-written.
How can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth.
Smollett insisted that the attack was not a fabrication despite being found guilty of lying to authorities.
A grand jury on Tuesday indicted Smollett on 6 counts of disorderly conduct.
In 2024, the judgment was rescinded and he returned to the entertainment world, writing and directing films. However, with how he was perceived to have manipulated public opinion, he was hardly welcome back. Zachary Levi. After making his name as the lead on the show Chuck, Levi hit the big time as the title character in 2019's Shazam.
We still don't know if the suit is bulletproof or if you are. Shoot him in the face.
Shoot me in the face. In the face?
During an uncertain future of DC films, it was a smash hit. But then came the sequel, 2023's Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which wasn't well received. That same year, Levi began his decline by promoting his anti-vaccine beliefs. Throw in Levi claiming that the film industry is making garbage, criticizing the actors' strike, and endorsing controversial political candidates, and his stock fell significantly. Somehow it got worse when he claimed She Loves Me co-star Gavin Creel's death from cancer was from the COVID-19 vaccine.
And I do believe I have just enough humility to recognize that even though I feel very convicted of what I believe in, I could be wrong.
Steven Seagal. In the early 90s, Seagal was one of the biggest action stars around, thanks in part to 1992's Under Siege and its sequel Dark Territory.
I know a little of that stuff myself. Yeah, that's what I hear. Usually from you, but that's what I hear.
However, after several scandals, including allegations of employment discrimination, harassment, and a tendency to lie, he began to mostly do direct-to-video films. In 2017, several former co-stars and actors who auditioned to be in his films came forward with allegations of harassment and assault, which Seagal denied.
Several other women have accused Seagal of inappropriate behavior, including Juliana Margulies,
Jenny McCarthy, Portia de Rossi, and Inside Edition's Lisa Guerrero when she was an aspiring actress.
Due to California's statute of limitations, they couldn't be investigated. In recent years, Seagal has drawn further ire for his ties to Vladimir Putin, who awarded him Russia's Order of Friendship in 2023. Fatty Arbuckle.
Comedian Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle is charged with manslaughter.
In his prime, Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle was as big a silent comedy film star as Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. In 1921, a year after signing a $1 million deal with Paramount, Arbuckle's legacy was forever ruined. During a party, actor Virginia Rapay allegedly experienced some form of trauma in Arbuckle's hotel suite. A few days later, she passed away. Arbuckle was accused of assaulting Rapay, leading to her demise. As such, he was arrested and tried for murder. After 2 mistrials, Arbuckle was acquitted and unusually received an apology letter from the jury. Regardless, no one wanted to hire him or show his films. Arbuckle had to use a pseudonym to get work. After a brief comeback in 1933, he passed away.
Listen, why don't you do something to help me? Well, what would you suggest I do?
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. After finding their acting feet on That 70s Show, Kutcher and Kunis carved out successful careers in Hollywood.
You're getting married?
Remarried.
That's our second remarriage. Well, this one's gonna stick, right?
Yeah.
They later became one of the industry's biggest power couples. Their shared enterprises include the nonprofit Thorn, which specializes in defending children from abuse. However, in 2023, during the trial of their former colleague and friend Danny Masterson, the couple were found to have sent a letter to the judge pleading for leniency for his sentence. The backlash only grew upon Kutcher and Kunis releasing an apology video, which many felt was insincere, especially when they stated the letter wasn't supposed to be public.
They were intended for the judge to read, and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that.
The further controversy from the video forced Kutcher to resign from Thorn. Felicity Huffman. In 2019, the Varsity Blues scandal broke. The FBI found that several families had paid an organization to bribe or commit fraud by inflating exam results to get students into various U.S. colleges.
High-powered New York attorney Gordon Kaplan publicly apologizing, the first parent caught up in the Varsity Blues scandal to do so, saying he's sorry first and foremost to his daughter.
One of those involved in the scheme was the Emmy-winning Desperate Housewives star Felicity Huffman. After pleading guilty, she was sentenced to 14 days in jail and a year of supervised release. Fined $30,000 and ordered to complete 250 hours of community service. Since then, Huffman has had bit parts in TV shows.
Different state, different court, different law.
Same principle.
I don't think I can convince a judge that that is...
Let me try.
Another famous performer involved in the scandal was Full House star Lori Loughlin. After pleading guilty to the charges, Loughlin was sentenced to 2 months in jail, while husband Massimo Giannulli got 5 months. Mel Gibson.
I don't make things complicated. That's just the way things get all by themselves.
On top of starring in cult franchises like Lethal Weapon and Mad Max, Gibson was the Oscar-winning director of 1995's Braveheart. As such, he was once one of the most in-demand and celebrated performers around. Then 2006 happened. While being arrested for a DUI, Gibson was recorded going on an anti-Semitic rant. Hollywood wanted nothing to do with him for years. Just as Gibson began working again in 2010, a threatening, racially charged voicemail to former partner Oksana Grigorieva was made public. He later pleaded no contest to a battery charge against Grigorieva and got 36 months of probation. Both of these events got him blacklisted from major Hollywood roles. Will Smith. From rapper to TV star, Smith soon rose to the ranks of Hollywood's most bankable stars with roles in Ali, I, Robot, and many more.
I am the greatest. I'm a bad man. I should not belong.
At the 2022 Oscars, he was nominated for his work in King Richard. While Smith won his first ever Oscar, what he did earlier in the event vastly overshadowed this triumph. After presenter Chris Rock made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, the actor went on stage and slapped Rock in the face. Then, sitting back down, Smith yelled threats at Rock.
The people I did it hurt. It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ear.
While he apologized and resigned from the Academy, the group banned him from all events for 10 years. Ellen DeGeneres. After making her name as a stand-up comic and transitioning into acting, DeGeneres found her true calling as a talk show host with The Ellen DeGeneres Show.
It's very important, the director says, to walk out and hit this mark. You gotta stand right there, so...
For nearly 2 decades, her show was one of the premier places for celebrities to promote themselves and their work. However, in 2020, former workers on the program came out with allegations about the toxic experience they had on DeGeneres' show.
As a host, she's amazing. As a host.
But as a boss and someone who's behind the scenes running the show, she's a different person. She's not the person people see in front of the camera.
The accusations included racist microaggressions, executives harassing female employees, and firing staff for taking medical or bereavement leave. The controversy was so bad that DeGeneres apologized for it on her show. A few months later, it was confirmed that the Ellen DeGeneres show would end in 2022. Charlie Sheen.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
It seemed like Sheen would be the next breakout star in Hollywood after his work in 1986's Platoon and 1987's Wall Street. However, a string of controversies stopped that. By 2003, Sheen was cast in 2.5 Men, turning him into TV's highest ever paid actor. However, in 2011, the wheels of his career came off very publicly.
I've spent, I think, close to the last decade effortlessly and magically converting your tin cans into pure gold. And the gratitude I get is this charlatan.
After struggling with substance issues and criticizing the show's co-creator Chuck Lorre multiple times, Sheen was fired from 2.5 Men. The actor then conducted a series of unsettling interviews where he claimed he had tiger blood. Beyond getting his own series in anger management, his reputation was further tarnished with accusations of assault against Corey Haim and against Sheen's exes. Allison Mack. If you were to ask Smallville fans their favorite character, many would have selected Clark Kent's BFF, Chloe Sullivan.
You're a superhero.
Chloe.
I'm serious, Clark. If more humans were like you, the world would be a better place.
Actress Allison Mack continued to appear in various productions after Smallville ended in 2011. However, in 2018, she was arrested. 12 years prior, she joined the cult NXIVM, rising up through the ranks of what was publicly a multi-level marketing company. Privately, it indoctrinated and extorted people into being slaves for its founder, Keith Raniere, and other masters.
I just thought, I believe Allison. I wanted to do well in this program, and I wanted to be promoted. And I was never going to share this secret.
In 2019, Mack pleaded guilty to a series of charges and helped the authorities gather evidence against Raniere. She was ultimately sentenced to 3 years in jail and was released in 2023. James Corden. At one point, James Corden was a respected actor and creator with work on Gavin and Stacey and A League of Their Own. But when the Brit moved across the pond to take on The Late Late Show with James Corden, it wasn't long until he began falling foul of people. In 2022, Corden was accused of abusive behavior at the New York restaurant Balthazar when staff apparently made his wife's meal incorrectly. This earned the host a ban from the eatery, which was rescinded when Corden apologized. However, he then flip-flopped on his responsibility, causing the ban to be reinstated.
I've been walking around thinking that I hadn't done anything wrong.
This incident also brought to light other alleged Corden incidents that further tarnished his reputation.
The restaurant manager and the server, they were lovely. They brought out 4 glasses of champagne as an apology, but we were like, that's not necessary, we don't need it. We'd had a great time. Even for me, it was too early to start drinking.
Lea Michele.
Mr. Schuster, do you have any idea how ridiculous it is to give the lead solo in Sit Down and Rock on the Boat to a boy in a wheelchair?
Whether she was releasing her own music or starring in Glee, Scream Queens, or popular stage productions, Lea Michele was lapping up nominations and awards all over the place. The sky really seemed the limit for her, but then 2020 happened. That year, Michele posted in support of the Black Lives Matter movement on social media. In response, several former Glee co-stars came forward to shine a light on her hypocrisy and terrible behavior behind the scenes. On top of microaggressions, Michele was accused of racist behavior and being rude to various people on set.
I just got you on the cover of New York Magazine.
In the background, you were practically glowing about it.
That's because I accomplished something. It had nothing to do with you.
No, see, it actually has everything to do with me.
This included apparently calling background performers cockroaches. While Michele apologized, it was too late.
You get great grades. You're a fantastic singer.
Everybody hates me.
Brands and fans left the actor in droves. Armie Hammer.
Is there any way to make this a fair fight? Jump out and swim.
After roles in The Social Network, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and Call Me By Your Name, Armie Hammer appeared to be on the cusp of superstardom.
So what do you do around here?
Read books, transcribe music, swim at the river, go out at night.
That sounds fun.
After all, he was cast as a lead in 2022's Death on the Nile. However, the publicity for that film was wrecked once the scandal about Hammer came out in 2021.
That was naughty of me. Hello. I hope you don't mind I took the liberty.
The actor was accused of both physical and emotional abusive behavior with ex-partners. Film companies, fans, agencies, and brands dropped the actor all at once.
Were you surprised when you saw what was going on with him?
be honest with you, I wasn't shocked because it was multi-generational, just awful behavior.
He's pretty much vanished from the public eye since, but did go on to admit to being emotionally abusive in his relationships.
We'll speak soon.
Amber Heard.
We should turn back. We can still warn the surface, try to prepare them for what's coming.
Turn back?
With the end of their marriage, the accusations of abuse, and the numerous court cases, neither party came out of this debacle looking especially favorable. However, it's safe to say Amber Heard was not the winner of the court of public opinion. She was accused of abusive behavior and having marital affairs. Social media was rife with people mocking the Aquaman performer and her legal team during the infamous 2022 defamation trial. The jury sided with Depp by awarding him $15 million, while Heard was awarded $2 million.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
And this only made it worse for her. Afterwards, she moved to Spain to escape the scrutiny. However, the public condemnation returned during the release of 2023's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
I don't care what one thinks about me or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home and my marriage behind closed doors.
Kevin Spacey. After receiving 2 Oscar awards, Kevin Spacey ushered in the Netflix original era with his Golden Globe-winning role in House of Cards.
I need somebody I can talk to.
We're talking. Tell me what we're talking about.
Every project he was on seemed to often become a critical hit. Then in 2017, actor Anthony Rapp accused Spacey of assaulting him when he was a teenager.
Spacey made sexual advances toward him after a party when they were both on Broadway. Spacey was 26.
Spacey's response didn't help when he claimed he didn't remember the encounter, apologized for it happening, and then came out as gay, which drew the ire of many. When the allegations came to light, Spacey was dropped by House of Cards.
I've led a very long, very successful career avoiding this sort of intrigue with the press. I can't see any advantage in starting now.
But is there any disadvantage?
Yet he continued parodying his character in strange annual YouTube videos. The actor has faced several court cases with further allegations. However, they have ended in Spacey's favor.
After that, my guess is you'll never hear from him again.
Michael Richards.
I'm out.
Due to his role as Kramer on Seinfeld, Michael Richards was awarded the Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Character in a Comedy Series on 3 occasions.
Here's to feeling good all the time.
Once the sitcom ended, he dabbled in TV a little while longer before focusing on his stand-up routine. In 2006, he was at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles, California, where it all came crumbling down. Richards was recorded going on a vile, slur-filled rant at hecklers. Afterward, he appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman to apologize.
I'm really busted up over this, and I'm very, very sorry to those people in the audience. The blacks, the Hispanics, the whites, everyone that was there that took the brunt of that anger and hate and rage. And
suffice to say, this was not really the sort of apology people were looking for. Richards retired from stand-up and has rarely appeared in film and TV since.
But no, I busted up after that event 7 years ago. It broke me down.
Ezra Miller.
I just need one more gig and I'm going to pay for my own tuition.
You can't.
Like I always said I would.
You cannot keep doing this to yourself.
Okay, I really don't want to talk about this again.
There probably isn't an actor who has had as many legal run-ins in such a short amount of time as Ezra Miller. After being cast in the Fantastic Beasts series and as the Flash in the DCEU, they became a household name.
Hi.
I love you.
Thank you. You seem very nice also.
Oh my God.
Then 2020 rolled around and a video surfaced of Miller attacking a woman at a bar in Iceland. This was unfortunately only the beginning.
I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior. I am committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe, and productive stage in my life.
They have been accused of harassing people, theft, assault, and grooming, among some other odd and heinous behavior. In January of 2023, Miller pleaded guilty to misdemeanor unlawful trespass. Roseanne Barr. As the lead of Roseanne, actor and comedian Roseanne Barr played a vital role in turning the show's first run into a critical success, securing many awards along the way.
What happened?
I thought you were dead.
I'm sleeping.
Why does everybody else think I'm dead?
In 2018, the show was revived after 20 years. However, not long after, Barr messed up massively.
What'd you find out about me?
After several of her controversial comments came to light, Barr made a racist tweet about former political advisor Valerie Jarrett. While Barr apologized and tried to backtrack, it was too late.
ABC pulled the plug on the show, saying Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values, and we've decided to cancel her show. Roseanne was canceled and replaced by The Connors without Barr.
I know Roseanne would want me to step in and watch over the family.
No, it'd kill her.
She has, despite all this, continued airing unpleasant thoughts and conspiracies, even doing controversial comedy routines.
I try to be even more offensive.
Danny Masterson. Before 2017, if you were to ask fans who their favorite character on That 70s Show was, many would immediately say hi.
And you missed your shift at the photo hut. You better have a damn good excuse.
I got busted.
Nowadays, it's less so after what his actor did came to light. In 2017, several women filed sexual assault charges against the actor, who denied the accusations.
One of them called the actor, quote, pathetic, disturbed, and completely violent, unquote.
After a fourth allegation, however, Netflix fired Masterson, who was a producer and actor on The Ranch. He was also dropped by his talent agency. In 2023, at the retrial, he was found guilty on 2 of the 3 charges, with the remaining count resulting in a hung jury. Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for his horrific crimes.
You don't want a hug, do you?
God, no.
Good. Because you're not getting one.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Bill Cosby.
It's under control, so no
problem. Right. How do you expect to get into college with grades like this?
No problem.
Huh?
See, I'm not going to college.
Damn right.
With the title of America's Dad, Bill Cosby was the biggest name in TV history, mostly known for his work on The Cosby Show. However, there were rumors that the actor was responsible for a host of grim crime, yet there was little traction to them.
Hello, my dear. Right.
But that all changed in 2015 when more and more victims began to come forward and the media ran their stories.
I never saw any drugs, but I would wake up completely confused.
In 2018, after over a decade of accusations, Cosby was charged with 3 counts of assault and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in jail. However, in 2021, Cosby's conviction was overturned after it was discovered that his due process rights had been violated. Regardless, this hasn't repaired Cosby's image, especially as he's faced civil cases for assault since.
Who's in trouble now?
Do you think any of these actors deserve a second chance? Tell us in the comments down below.
It hit me like a bullet and was like, oh my God,